amazing way for fans, like just what Steve Nash was doing last decade and those Suns teams, that everybody's playing that way now. I think the social media and the players basically getting rid of the wall between them and the fans, using social media, using Instagram, and we just feel like we know these guys better. And their ability to control their own message now versus where they were 10 years ago. It all started with the decision in LeBron James and has carried through this whole decade. And these guys now, they can get whatever message out they want. They can criticize the president. They can criticize their own team. They can ask for a trade. If they get called out by some writer or somebody who writes a hit piece, they can go back at the guy and sick all their fans on the writer.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here. Going back to our topic from a moment ago, Bill, you mentioned the interaction between players and social media and how that's become a new facet, a skill we're seeing daily from players.
There's just way more accountability now. And I'm really impressed by how polished the guys are that come in the league now. And I think the LeBron generation, LeBron, Wade, Chris Bosh, some of those guys from the last generation that came up and became vets and really knew how, Paul Pierce, who knew how to handle their business. Now these new guys come in, they're 19, 20 years old, and they act like they're 30. I'm sure you see it at the games.
Shocking.
Whereas in the 90s, it was a free-for-all. And you had these guys who, if you gave them a live mic, you were terrified. And now these guys are 19 years old,
Polished.
giving, long interviews to reporters. It's like, how are you doing this?
Tatum in particular is very
Tatum's
impressive.
already good at being a bad interview.
He's
like he
19 years
doesn't
old.
say anything. He knows how to dodge any question. It's like, you're 19. How do you know how to do this?
Unbelievable. Good on the second free throw. And before the ownership changed in 2010, the Warriors franchise really staggered.
Yeah, they staggered to the point that in 2012, I wrote a long column for Grantland about, it was like the 60 reasons you can't blame the Warriors fans for booing their owner on Chris Mullin night. And I went through their whole history since they won the title in '74 of just all the horrible things that happened to them, all the dumb moves they made, all the dumb trades, all the things they never should have done. It was extensive. And after things flipped around, people mail me that article all the time, like, can you believe it? We've won 3 titles in the last 4 years. You just wrote this. It feels like yesterday. And it was. It's one of the most amazing turnarounds of any franchise I can remember.
I'm assuming you're a fan of their front office.
Yeah, very, very smart. But, the pieces were there. When they bought the team, everyone thought they overpaid. And not to toot my own horn because I've been wrong a million times, but I was one of the only people who didn't think they overpaid. I just felt like that market was awesome. I loved their fans. It was in the heart of Silicon Valley. It made sense that they should be a juggernaut, and they had never really had good ownership. And as we learn over and over every year at the Knicks, like, owners matter. They just do.
Baker kicks to Jamison. Stolen by Jamison. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Got a piece of it.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Golden State's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. .116 left here in the opening quarter. Out to the right wing. Here's Baker. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. We've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
And guys, I think each team knows they can win this game. Just a matter who can catch that momentum.
Rodic, Jamison covering, picked away. 44 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Rivers, the 7-footer falls. Now it's a 3-point Warrior lead.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Rodic, Jamison covering. Got a piece of it, and he gets it back. It's good. He's got 7. 24 seconds left in the first. Fires, high post, and the Warriors tack on 2 more. There's 18 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Rodic, Jamison covering. Rodic from outside off the mark.
Yeah, blown opportunity after the two-man game creates a terrific look.
That's how it's drawn up. That is, everything but the finish.
Right back after this break. And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. What do you guys think about the Warriors here so far?
They're just not sitting back. They are going for steals, and their activity has been terrific.
You know, sometimes gambling gets you in trouble, but in that first quarter, it was just the opposite.
Bill, several of your books have been bestsellers. How did it feel to see your work so well received around the world?
I think I was really happy that the basketball book did well because I spent a long time writing it, and it was 700 pages. And when it got mailed to me, it was so big, I thought people would just be terrified of it. And, you know, it turns out,
they embraced the
yeah,
size.
I think they did. They liked it. I designed it for people to be able to put on their toilet or bring on an airplane or whatever they want to do with it. But I was always amazed that there wasn't a basketball book that tried to kind of group all these other books and some of the opinions and all the misinformation. Like the fact that, honestly, the reason I wanted to write the book was just that people thought Will Chamberlain was better than Bill Russell. And yet every single thing written in the 60s was that Bill Russell was better. And all the players would say Bill Russell was better. And when they played together, Bill Russell's team won. So it's like, how do we get to the point where people think Will Chamberlain was better? So it was that and some other stuff that made me want to write the book.
We've got Rivers, and it's Baker in at the shooting guard. That's the group for the Golden State Warriors to start the second quarter. Down low. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Rodic, Jamison covering. Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. Out to the right wing. Here's Kirkland. That's his first basket of the game. 1 for 6 and looking for more. Bill, it's interesting. More than 50 colleges and universities now offer scholarships in esports. I did not know this, and that number is probably only going to go up.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. What's more popular, esports or water polo? No offense to the water polo players, but come on. Let's move with the times.
They cannot get enough of these games.
No, we should have, every college should have esports.
And Phoenix making a change here. Quarter number 2, we're about 2 minutes in. They need this. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
The Warriors shooting their first foul shots of the night here.
Yeah, and over the course of the season, they're a respectable 78%. That comes in handy in close games.
And this is what we've come to expect from him. This type of consistency from the line.
To the wing on the left. Here's Myers. Marion with the steal. Here's Fowler. Here's Page. And the layup is good. And the Warriors lead by 2.
Love the extra possessions. Defense has them stopped, but can't control the boards.
Here's Constantine. Page with the rebound. Page has got his 4th rebound in this one. Cuts off the pass.
And you saw him gauging that pass there. He knew they were coming inside with it and got in position for the steal.
To the middle. Here's Constantine. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Yeah, how about the sharp steel and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
That could be a game changer. That jam just sent shockwaves through the arena.
Bill, you've done quite a few player interviews over your life, and I'm sure there are some guys that have surprised you with what they've got to say.
Yeah. I think we're in a really cool generation with basketball players where they're these really thoughtful guys who aren't afraid to share stuff.
Take a break.
You know, some of the
Take a break.
guys try to protect their images and their kind of their manufactured reputations, I would say, to some degree. But for the most part, the candidness of some of these guys, you can't hide on a podcast. If I have you for an hour, you're not going to be able to dodge stuff. You're going to have to talk.
Well, you challenge people, that's the beauty of the podcast.
Well, and I don't have notes, so I do it. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and we're going. And
That's
you
how
got to be ready.
That's how Larry King used to do it. Yeah.
So some guys are ready. Like Durant was great. Durant was ready to talk, and we did 5 podcasts, and everything's on the table with him. But my favorites are, somebody like Kyrie came in, really smart, kind of sort of ready to go, but not totally, but then got into it. And those are usually the best ones.
Stolen away. Smalls passes to Fowler. Page stayed with it, but they couldn't get it to fall. Phoenix has gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Wasted no time on that one.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
I want to get back to what we were chatting about, Bill, with how today's NBA players are so media ready, whether it be interviews or social media. Your take is really interesting.
I think in general, all these guys, the guys now are so used to talking to people and being in front of people, and they're not surprised by questions, and they know how to handle themselves. They know how to not get in trouble, and they're comfortable.
Maybe they've kind of grown up with you, though, too. You know what? You've been relevant for many years.
Well,
they've grown up with your stuff.
To be honest, a lot of them just know me as the white guy on NBA Countdown. They might not have read me, but they remember like that year I was with Jalen Rose, But what's weird is
I think you'd be surprised. More.
Well, you know this too. When you're on TV, the credibility you get from being on TV, I wasn't prepared for within the NBA.
Oh, really?
I think that's true. Yeah, I think it's like, oh, he's on TV, he's okay. And maybe they don't agree with you all the time, but you've passed some imaginary checkpoint with those guys.
Well, you may think that TV was your validation. This is going to be your validation.
Oh, 100%.
2K. This is it.
100%.
I'm stamping you right now.
This is better than winning a Pulitzer Prize.
Here's Kirkland. And there's the pass to Myers. Phoenix, no good that time either.
The open mid-range jump shot. He knows he has to hit that one.
Bill, one shot to win a game. You can pick any player. Who's going to take that shot for you?
Kevin Durant. I think he has the most ways to get a good shot off. I always look at it as, is it a quality shot to get off? So he can post the smaller guy up. He can shoot a 3. He's got the pull-up hezzy jumper, as he calls it. He can go to the lane and pump fake and do a little drop step. And I just think he has the most moves. Some people would say LeBron, but am I getting regular season LeBron or playoff LeBron?
Playoff LeBron.
Playoff LeBron would be my number one choice.
He'd be pretty good.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Regular season LeBron, I'm not as enthused about.
Here's Constantine, poked away. Here's Cannon. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
Guys, there's so many great scorers in our league. It makes it tough to get stops, but somehow they were able to do it consistently in that one.
The reason why their rotations were quick, they prevented easy shots, and they kept their opponent out of rhythm.
Talking about last-second shot instincts, Bill, you mentioned LeBron, KD. What about Curry? Where does Curry rank in that conversation?
Curry's good.
Top 5?
You can guard Curry in those one-on-one situations with the right people. I'm not saying you're going to stop him, but, you put a taller guy on him. And Curry, to me, Curry is the greatest not in the offense scorer I've ever seen in my life, where he can get 32 and hit 10 threes and wasn't really involved in the game. just you forget about him from one play, and all of a sudden he's in the corner, and they're setting him up, or he's running off the screen. It's a lot, almost like what Reggie Miller and Ray Allen were able to do, where, yeah, you run them off screens and you tire the guys out, and you kind of hope the defense forgets they're out there. But he's not a conventional get out of my way guys. I'm going to get to the rim.
Absolutely.
Score like someone like Donovan Mitchell is.
Here's Myers. Phoenix no good that time either. And he gets the bucket.
Soft interior defense. You know he's going to be aggressive.
Warriors leading by 7. And here's Jamison. He's coming off a 16-point game against Detroit. And then Rivers with the dunk.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
That's about as violent as a rim rocker as it gets. A real confidence builder.
And maybe that'll trigger them. Impossible not to get pumped up after that.
Yeah, well, you could see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are pumped up. It's good. He's got 22.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, we want to thank the sports guy for being here. Enlightening as always. Bill, what a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I hope my son was impressed. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm sure he was. And Smitty's so great to have Bill with us, a guy who's ahead of the curve creatively.
Kevin, he was a pioneer in blogging, Emmy nominated for his work on documentaries. The guy never stops thinking of new ways to produce content. We will talk about feed the hot hand. That's what they're doing this quarter, which is why they've been able to maintain momentum.
Out of bounds.